Hello and welcome on 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adeni Ajishafe. We'll be looking at some stories in the world of sport as we look at Scrabble first. Nigerian Scrabble Federation invites 28 for African Championship qualifiers in Abuja. They'll be qualifying for honors. Out of the 28, 10 will qualify to represent Nigeria the African Championship. That has to do with Scrabble. Well, quickly, let's look at the list of those 28 players that have been invited by the Nigerian Scrabble Federation. Well, as we talk about them, 2016, rather 20 of them will be vying for honor, and they have wide cards standing by. Godwin Victor, Wellington Jigere, former world champion. You have Eta Karo, who is also there, Nigerian champion, West African champion. So Enoch Nwali, Oshebire Aweneha. You have Prince Omesefe Okemutetega from Benin Scrabble Club, Nsikat Etim from Shell Scrabble Club, Emmanuel Umujose, John Ayedu, Chukwudi Ehibudu, Ben Quickpen from Yenagua, Emmanuel Ofidi, Said Jimo, Jacob Ryan, and you have the white card Toyo Meyoku from Warri Scrabble Club, Adebisi Adekansi, Chiamaka Gabriel, Priscilla Akabwe, Jimo Abdumumani. You have Chinedu Top, Akim Ogundokwa, and you have Emmanuel Enyi from Unibadon Scrabble Club. Those are the lists. That's the list released by the Nigerian Scrabble Federation for those Scrabble players that represent Nigeria. They'll be fighting for honors. Out of the 28, 10 will be making the court to represent Nigeria. Recently, Nigeria did well in West African competition, winning it back-to-back, and for the first time, they were able to, at least, they won all the categories of event except one in Ghana. Congrats to the Nigeria Scrabble there. Now we have in the studio Ibrahim Yusuf. Good to have you.
Always nice to be here, Denny. Thanks for having me.
Good one. While we quickly run through Scrabble, now let's talk about cricket. Another one that will be happening live in Abuja, where we'll talk about the ICC Under-19 Men's Cricket World Cup African Division 2 qualifiers to begin in Abuja. Well, 8 countries will be participating in this competition. We have Nigeria, Ghana, Malawi, Mozambique, Sierra Leone, Kenya, Rwanda, and Botswana. They are all in Nigeria for this particular qualifiers that has to do with under-19 men, where they will be qualifying for the main event that will be coming up in Zambia. But the good thing right now is that Nigeria, we have the host, and it will be happening live at the MKO Abiola Stadium. I love this. At least Nigerians can actually see cricket. If it's been a while, let them see it again.
Yes, well, the thing is, cricket is really not a sport that you associate with Nigeria. And it's nice to see that the sport is gaining some popularity now, and it's coming back, and we have a very good cricket team, the under-19. And that's the way to go. That's where to start. I mean, like, you start from the grassroots, try and teach these kids what cricket is all about. And maybe the interest might actually be there, because really, cricket is not a very popular sport in Nigeria. Cricket, rugby, we don't really take those ones seriously, but it's nice to see that it's getting that popularity now and given the kind of attention that it is. So if the boys can actually, if we can actually go there, have a very good showing as the host, I think it will do a lot for Nigerian cricket.
It will do a lot for Nigerian cricket to let you know that cricket is really growing well in Zamfara State. They've really embraced our sport when the Nigerian Cricket Federation moved around to make sure they propagate our sport. Zamfara really actually accepted our sport, and right now it's growing so well there. In fact, recently the NCF actually agreed that they made that particular statement that Zamfara State really showed a lot of commitment to that aspect, especially the women. And really, we're going to be having more concerning cricket developing in Nigeria. Good one there, Nigeria hosting the 8th Nation tournament, where the teams will be qualifying, rather fighting for honor to qualify for the African Championship. Now let's go to Europe, where matches actually played. 2 matches were played in the UEFA Champions League for women this time around, where Roma women, they were able to win against Sparta Prague 4-1, and you have Bayern Munich winning against Real Sociedad 3-1 in their game. We have 6-2 by aggregate coming from Roma Femenil. They made it 6-2 there, and you have 4-1 coming from Bayern Munich on aggregate level. Congrats to the 2 teams, Roma and Bayern, qualifying for the next round. But Ibrahim, you look at the way the men are playing. That's talking about Bayern women and also Roma women. They were able to do well against Sparta Prague and also Real Sociedad.
Yeah, when you look at the two teams, when you look at the two matches that we're actually looking at right now, and the the 4 clubs that are actually involved, the results probably won't be that different if it was the men that were actually playing.
Maybe that's why we saw the men on TV.
Exactly, because you would expect, when you see those results like that, you will not be surprised if it was actually the men's result, because you'll expect Roma to do well against Sparta Prague, and of course expect Bayern to do the business against Real Sociedad as well. So I think that is it's a good one, that the women's game is getting more attention now than it used to get, and it's coming to the fore. At least we have the Women's Champions League, which is something good as well. The UEFA Youth League was something that was introduced and was getting more traction, and a lot of people are wondering when the women's game is going to start getting that kind of attention as well. And I think that is a good thing for European football.
A good thing for European football, and you look at the way they play football in Europe right now, even in America, so it's really growing well. When it comes to women football development, it has really gone advanced over there in all those countries. Right now in Africa, we need to actually close the gap between our performances. Looking at all the teams from Africa, well, just recently we saw how Brazil walloped South Africa when it comes to women football. We just have to get it, and they are the champion of Africa. We just have to close that gap. We are doing well, but we need to get the pace more very strong. Well, as we look at Nigerian football, even though we may not be there right now, but we know that we've dominated for a while, and it's high time we see how we can get better when it comes to international football for women. We always go out there, and it's not always too sweet for Nigerian women, especially Super Falcons.
Yeah, even when we used to dominate Africa, we didn't make that kind of impact that we wanted to do on the world stage. We thought that was going to be the next step. We've conquered Africa, now let's go and conquer the world.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, we have regressed. Even Africa is not ours anymore. We took our foot off the gas pedal, and now other African countries have caught up with us and probably even surpassed us, because we are not African champions right now when you look at it. So even that is a tall order now for us to raise. We need to come back to the drawing board again, start from scratch, dominate Africa, and then think about how we're going to launch an assault on the world stage, because we've actually regressed. Unfortunately, had it been we kicked on from where we used to before, we've already cornered Africa. Going on to beat the rest of the world would have been something that we can target. But now that is even more beyond us than it used to be. And it's really a poor testament to how the women's game has actually been handled. When it comes to the Super Falcons, just like you've rightly pointed out, we have regressed. And that is really poor. And that's not something that we look forward to. At least we knew where we were at a certain stage. We were dominant in Africa. We were winning all the games. We were winning all the trophies. I mean, like, we had like 9 consecutive victories, and everything was fantastic. So we were looking to kick off and make the next move. And that's towards the world stage. But unfortunately, we regressed, and now we have to start all over again.
We just have to get it right when it comes to football in Africa. Yes, we can be African champion, but when it gets to international stage, we've not really meet up the standard there. We just have to get it better there. Coming from Ibrahim. And now let's talk about the match between Everton women versus Leicester women. Ended 1-0 in favor of Everton, although our own Nigerian lady Ashley Plumter plays for Leicester City. She was there despite that particular loss. Just the way it happens for the men.
Exactly. That was what I was going to point out. It's like the men and the women are sharing the same fate.
I mean, like that's Ashley Plumter.
I think there's something
for this particular one.
I think there's something wrong in Leicester. The men are not finding it funny, and even the women are not getting the required results. So I think something really needs to be done for Leicester City. But at least Everton, the men are not doing that particularly well, but what the women are doing, so at least they have something to smile about. But for Leicester, is all doom and gloom at the moment, and we hope that the international break has come at the right time for them, so that they can actually recharge and go back to the drawing board and see if they can do something differently. How they begin this post-international break actually will determine how far they can be able to recover. But a good one there for Everton ladies.
Good one for Everton ladies there. Now let's come back home. Well, when it comes to stadium or facilities in Nigeria, we know that a lot of athletes always suffer this because they need good facilities to train for their sport development. Well, that's why Akwa Ibom State government deemed it fit to actually have a new stadium built in Eket, in one of the towns that's in Akwa Ibom State, and they will be launching that. That has been launched today. Good one there to commission. Actually, they commissioned that earlier on, Eket Stadium, to boost sport development. and you look at a beautiful stadium there, at least most of the athletes in Akwa Ibom State, they can easily access these, train, get better with their sporting activities, and bring results. This is good.
Yeah, it's absolutely, it's commendable. It's quite commendable that something like this can be built. But sometimes the problem we have, exactly, the problem we have is not building the facilities, it's not having these facilities in place, it's actually maintaining them. You'll be surprised now when you go back there after 2-3 years, and then you find out that it's in a deplorable situation, and that's mostly how it goes, because we just build and we keep it there. We don't make plans for how it's going to be kept up to standard, and that is the problem that we usually have. We have lots and lots of facilities dotting nooks and crannies of this country, but most of them are dilapidated because they were not well taken care of. We actually believe in the fact that, okay, we build this thing, then we leave it, then it runs itself to the ground in like 10 years, and then we come and we spend a colossal amount of money to say that we're going to renovate it, and then we'll do it, and then we'll leave it again. The next 10 years, we renovate it again. It doesn't work like that.
Now, somebody asked a question. Let me ask you, although you say you are from Congo anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone asked a question, who do us for Nigeria? Why? I actually laugh because really, we know the right thing to do.
But we will not do it. That is just the problem. Everybody that's in where he is right now and is in a situation where he's running something knows exactly what to do.
Just won't do it.
But we won't do it. For one reason or the other, we just will not do it. We know how other facilities are run elsewhere, in other countries. They are not even as rich or as
beautiful
as we are.
Well constructed like how
exactly, but we still go about doing things the way we feel we want to do it, which is the wrong way and not the right way to actually do this thing. When you bring private entities into this thing and you give them this thing to manage after a period of time, then that is how you can be able to maintain this thing and make sure that it goes the way it's supposed to. But unfortunately, we don't do that. And we know these models. We know how these models work because we go elsewhere and we see how they work, but we just will not do the right thing. And that is quite unfortunate.
Unfortunate, you can say, really, because I'm sure facility managers, maintenance officers, it's not as if we don't have them.
They're there.
We actually
exactly, and they get paid.
But just to do the job.
Exactly, and they get paid. No, these facility, they're actually there. The facility managers and everything, and they are there. Once it comes a time for you to do something that relates to those facility managers, we go and hire consultants
to come and do
that come from somewhere. Well, that guy is still getting paid as a facility manager.
While we are also consulting.
So you can ask, what facility is he managing? Because we are going to get consultants to come and do this thing, and they come and we pay those consultants and they go away, and that guy is still there collecting his salary. And when you ask him, he'll tell you he's facility manager.
Now, just like someone opined that at times, government continuity, if government A builds a stadium, and the government B coming or that takes over, it's not from the same, caucus. Yes. It could be like, now your own.
We don't care, exactly. We don't care about this.
Let me use our pidgin.
Exactly.
Now your own be that.
Exactly. We don't care about this.
I don't care about this.
Yes.
Let me do my own.
Exactly.
And that will also affect that particular edifice or facility.
Of course it will affect it. It will definitely affect it. You see, that's the problem, because we don't really look at the bigger picture. We don't have we're not looking at best interests, and we're not looking at best practices. That is when things like this come around. Okay, Adeni built a stadium. I come later. I don't like Adeni stadium. Does that make your stadium?
It's not my stadium.
Exactly. It is for the people. Because you are not going to be there in perpetuity. You will leave, and it's not you that's going to come there every day to say, I'm going to use this thing.
I'll be running, I'll be jumping, I'll be playing football.
Exactly, on my own. You're building it for the people, and the people are still there.
And also for the future.
Exactly. So I don't see any reason why most of the stadiums that we use now, when were they built? They were built decades ago. And if not for the special grace of God, they would have been run to the ground right by now. Most of them are, they're an eyesore when you go to these when you go to these venues. It's only when we have a tournament coming in, then we'll say, okay, fine, let's do turnaround maintenance. We call contractors. They put some paint on it, put some plaster here and there. Go and we dig up grass from somewhere. We come and put it, and then we'll say, okay, fine, we have a good edifice. We'll have the tournament. The competition ends, and that's that. We'll wait until the next competition starts before we start painting again.
Look at the National Stadium. That's MK Abiola that was renovated by Alhaji Aliko Dangote
recently.
after was it before the World Cup, after the World Cup, everything went, it was like
everything.
The place they spent $1 million
exactly
to renovate.
We looked at the pitch. We saw the pitch
goodness.
after that. I mean, like, it was like, you know,
as if nothing was done.
Local
before.
field in my area, I can actually, you know, that's you know.
Then we have to do it again.
Of course, we'll do it again. We'll have to spend some more money, do it all over again, and then after a while, we'll leave it. It comes back to that stage, and then we'll come and do it all over again.
Oh my goodness. Well, we just hope that something can be done concerning this spirit, this mindset that things we just build and we cannot just maintain it. We need to know how to maintain all these facilities for the sake of the athletes, even unborn athletes. We'll be able to at least appreciate this edifice or facilities to use by the time it's their turn to also compete for themselves in different sports that they find themselves. Well, we've been talking concerning the new stadium that will be commissioned right now, being commissioned in Eke Stadium. Now, let's talk about a Nigerian, a former Super Eagles assistant coach. That's Emmanuel Amunike. Right now, he has been confirmed. It has been confirmed right now by Zanaco FC. He's a technical consultant to Zanaco FC now, and he will be giving additional some technical assistance to that club. Although he has been with Tanzania, he has gone around, he's been there. Now, Zanaco FC deem him fit to give him this particular job because of they believe in his pedigree as a coach.
Yes, I think he was manager of the under 17. Was it under 17 or under 23? Yeah, so he did something there under 17. They did very well under him. Yeah, they did very well under him. After that, he went to Tanzania. He did a job there as well. I would have expected him to latch on to another African country and see whether he can try his hands on that again. I think the jobs didn't come, but it's good that he's staying relevant. He's staying in the game. You know, in football we're quite fickle. If you're not in and around those football circles, you usually get forgotten. So I think taking this job right now at Zanaco makes him, he's staying in the game, he's staying in the limelight. Maybe if another job comes up, a bigger one, he can be able to take it. So I think it's a good one for him, building up his coaching badges, his coaching credentials, and of course expanding his CV, which I think is a nice thing for him.
A nice one for Amunike there, at least trying to upgrade his CV there. Let's look at, if someone say, I want to fight you, and I say, I'm not fighting, it's not a crime. Tyson Fury has been on the neck of Anthony Joshua for a fight. It's not by force. According to a lot of pundits now, it's becoming worrisome because why is he Anthony Joshua every time? Well, Usyk Alexander, that defeated Anthony Joshua twice, actually offered his hand that, okay, come and fight me. I want us to unify all the belt. He has never responded to Usyk. Was he underrating him, or has he been underrating him? But it has been a British all affair that he's actually after.
But the thing is, Tyson Fury is just being smart. He believes Joshua is exactly. He believes Joshua is the easier fight. That is why he's.
Why is he avoiding Usyk?
Because he believes Usyk can't beat him. That's just the truth.
So the fear of Usyk.
Of course, he is afraid that Usyk will beat him, and that is why he's taking what he believes to be the easier of the two fights.
But you should let the guy alone.
When Joshua was champion, there were lots of calls for them to fight at that particular time, to have that big British bake-off. Exactly, because Joshua was at the top of his game, and really, Tyson Fury is an exceptional fighter. He's a beast. He's an animal. He can knock anyone out. But he's smart as well. He picks his fights very, very carefully.
And he has been like, I'm retiring. Yes, I've retired. I'm coming out. I want Joshua. This. Exactly. Now, Usyk I remember that fight between Joshua and Usyk. He said, now he even made the statement just like 4 or 5 days ago that all he wants now is just to fight 3 times. One against Canelo Alvarez, one against Tyson Fury, and one at the Ukrainian stadium, just to impress his people and bring them that happiness. Now, Fury refused to answer.
And just like I told you, Fury is actually being smart. He doesn't want a situation. He wants the money. That's why he's coming back. He wants the money, but he doesn't want a situation whereby he's going to get beat. And there is an 80% chance that Usyk can actually beat him, and that is what he's afraid of. So he's thinking that, okay, Anthony Joshua, his head is not in the right place right now. Joshua is really not in the right place. The 2 consecutive losses, he's not in a very good place. So he feels that Joshua is the easier fight. That's why he's hounding him. Joshua is saying, no, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight
Leave
you.
me
I
alone,
want to
my
go.
boss.
I want to go home and rest.
Come on.
But he has been dogging him. Here's the person who is following you, asking you to go. Okay, let's do
I say,
this.
okay, I'm not fighting. Okay, let's assume you are Fury. I'm not fighting. Now by force, I agree. Go and spend the one you've made.
And Usyk wants to fight Fury.
You know what?
And Fury is running away.
Fury face Usyk.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I'm telling you now, you are the
No, I'm Fury now. Okay, I'll face you. I'll face you. But you see, a fight that I really want to see, will be Usyk Alvarez. I think.
Yes, that would be a very big one because both of them. They were formerly Usyk was cruiserweight before he moved to heavyweight.
Exactly,
and Canelo.
And that's the thing because there's been this dispute as who's the best pound for pound when it comes to that.
That one is good.
Class. So
but I want Fury to leave Joshua alone. Face Usyk.
All right, so tell him now.
Yes, I'm telling you now.
Leave
Fury,
Joshua
I beg, leave Joshua alone. Face Fury. Let's at least as a Nigerian man, come on, let's be sincere ourselves.
And I think he really should leave him. Go and get the fight that's looking for you.
Unify this belt, undisputed world champion. Exactly. Go after Usyk, who is having the belt. Why are you fighting somebody who doesn't have belt?
And that's the fight of where a lot of people would want to see. We want to see the belts being unified by one person.
Exactly.
So that's
seriously. Tyson Fury, please leave our Joshua alone and go for your Usyk and see. And let's see if you can beat him. Well, our time is really running. Let's quickly run through this particular story. Onome Ebi, rather, that's the Nigerian captain for Super Falcons, joins a newly promoted Spanish top flight. Well, that's Levante Las Planas. Good one for her. She has played in Turkey. She has played in Sweden. She has played in Belarus right now. She's moving straight to Spain. So join Oshuala, join Rashida Ajibade and all of them. Good one. Spain is right now the place to be for Nigerian players. The women, they are really doing so well there, moving to join those clubs. Congratulations to Onome Ebi for the fact that she was able to get this particular deal done. And there will be some fixtures for today. And now let's look at those matches quickly. 3 matches will be coming up. Atletico Bilbao, Almeria, Bayern Leverkusen, Ingas, Marcel Ibrahim. Quickly.
Yes, well, Athletic Bilbao, Almeria, I think it will go according to the script. Bilbao, a very good team, and Almeria, we know how they play in the La Liga, so I think it will actually go that way, and Bilbao will actually take that, and playing at home will also mean a lot as well.
Bayern.
We don't know which Bayern is going to turn up, most especially when you're talking about the Bundesliga this season.
Or the Bayern.
Yeah, you understand? Bayern Munich, we don't know which Bayern Munich is going to turn up, especially when you're talking about the Bundesliga. Their form has been patchy in the Bundesliga this season, so we really don't know which Bayern is going to show up. But if the right Bayern shows up, then they can be able to get one up against Leverkusen. Leverkusen are actually quite unpredictable. They have gotten some very, very mean results recently, and they could be able to pull one over Bayern Munich, depending on which one shows up. So it's going to be a very interesting game as well.
Then you can always say that Marseille could beat...
Yeah, well, on paper, Marseille should be able to beat Angers, but unfortunately, we know how Marseille is. They're actually very, very patchy as well. Most especially recently, they're not doing very well, so anything can happen in that game.
Well, anything can happen in those games that will be coming up on Friday. Independence is coming on Saturday. Nigeria 62. We will be looking at a lot of historical moments in the world of sport. But before we go, quickly, let's run through some stories that has to do with gossip in the world of football, where a Premier League all-star side to play combined teams from La Liga or Bundesliga is being considered by club executives. They're trying to see if they can play an all-star side to play combined teams. Ibrahim, we're talking about that just briefly. Now, Antonio Conte dismissed report linking him with a return to Juventus as disrespectful. Well, he said he's having his time in Tottenham and he's enjoying football there. He doesn't want to go to Juventus. I'm sure he knows what is happening over there in Turin. Newcastle United confirmed the signing of forward Garankuo from Central Coast Mariners, Australia. Well, the young lad right now has joined Garankuo, though it will be in January that he will be playing for them. But everything has been done, sealed, and Garankuo will be playing for Newcastle United. Well, for that Premier League, all-star side to play combined, La Liga, Bundesliga, facing all-stars of England.
Yeah, it will be a very big money maker if they can actually make that happen. I mean, I know Todd Bowley talked about it a few weeks back. A lot of people thought he was crazy, but you see now
this is going to be a nice one.
When you look at the numbers, the money they're going to get from TV revenues alone, I mean, like, it's going to be absolutely massive. I think it's going to be better than the Champions League when you look at it. The best in Spain versus the best in England, best in Italy, the Bundesliga. I mean, like, it's absolutely fantastic. It's going to be really, really explosive if they could get something like that. And it's going to be a very big money maker.
A big money maker there. Todd Bowley showing Premiership how to do business. When he mooted this idea, it was as if it's really crazy. But right now, people are buying into it. The chief executive officers of clubs are really trying to see if this will see light of the day. It has been a wonderful one on 360 Sport. Ibrahim Yusuf, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
I am Adeni Ajishafe. Thanks for watching.